Okay, looks like we're up and on live now. I actually was posting to my regular timeline, not my Stampin' Craft Corner. So, hi everybody, welcome to Michelle's Stampin' Craft Corner. Gotta take this off. A couple of days ago I promised you that I would do a better video. Let me just adjust my light there, is that a little bit better? I would do a video to show the envelope gift card holder, and oh, that's better. And I got my setup delivered today, so I'm super excited about that. So we're going to give it a whirl and see how this goes. So I have my overhead camera now. I can use both my hands at the same time. Woo! Okay, yeah, this is normally not my video setup. That's the one on Long Island. I'm actually currently in Pennsylvania, but this seems to be working really well. Okay, so I had shown you a gift card holder idea that encompasses not only a gift card that you can put inside it, but it also becomes the envelope and the card as well. So here is one example that I did today. This is a happy birthday one, okay? And this is all from an envelope. So if you turn this over and you open it up, now when you seal it, there's a piece of sticky tape here that you're just going to pull off and then seal it down, and this is going to hold this all together, and this will help hold it together as well, okay? But if you open it up, there's a spot for your card. You can write on this and write whatever you want. And then in here, you can put your gift card or money if you want to, and then just toss this away when you're done, okay? And you got to close it up. Take the piece of sticky strip off and close it up, and you have your card all ready to go. Don't need an envelope, don't need anything, okay? And here was another example that I did. And then you turn it over again, the same thing, open it up, gift card or money, and then your actual card. So I'm going to actually show you how to do this today, now that I have my setup and I have two hands to use, instead of trying to hold the camera with one hand and do everything together. Okay? All right, let me get this out of the way. Okay, so what you're going to start with is you're going to start with an envelope. Now, there's something on my screen. Okay. This envelope measures 9.5 by 4. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, you can do this one or two ways. You can either turn it over, okay, and you can guesstimate where the center is, right, and then just kind of crease it down. If you have a bone folder or a letter opener, give that a good crease. Give that a good crease. Okay, and then you have the start of your card. Now, if you have, and you like to be very, very, very precise, and you have some kind of scoring tool, you can take your scoring tool, and again, 9.5, right? You're going to actually score it. Okay, so you can see here, you're going to score it at 7 1/4, and you're going to score it at 2.5. So I'm going to turn this backwards so it doesn't get caught. So 7 1/4, so you can see, okay. So 7 1/4, all the way down, and then 2.5. Okay. So either way, you can do this. Now, you could do this for anything. You could do it for birthdays. You could do it for graduations. You could do it for any type of gift you want to give, really. Thinking of you, or whatever that case may be. Somebody's not feeling well, something like that. Okay? All right, so there we have our envelope. Now, hopefully you can see that, because I was doing white on white. Okay, so you can see that it is folded. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to open it up, and you're going to see that the actual crease for the envelope That's the score line we're going to cut up to. We don't want to cut past here. So we're actually going to get rid of this. And we're going to get rid of this piece. Okay, so I'm going to take my scissors. And I am going to cut to that score line so you can see it folds, right? And I'm going to get rid of this piece. Now you can use your paper trimmer if you want to, but whatever's easier for you. And then you're going to flip it around, do the same thing. You're going to cut to that score line, and you're going to cut that piece off. So now you have this. Okay? So we went from this to this. We just cut those little pieces off. Now, if you want to get fancy, you could angle it, okay? Which I can do right now. I'm going to angle this just a little bit, cut off that, give it a little bit of an angle, turn it over, do the same thing on this side. So now you have a little bit of a fancy closing to your envelope, okay? All right. So the next thing we're going to do is decorate it. So really this is super simple, easy to do. Everybody has envelopes in their houses. You could even probably make your own envelope out of DSP, Designer Series paper. That's actually something else I want to try to do because then I don't have to cover the envelope. It's already done. So that'll be my next project. Okay. So we're going to make a birthday one. And I'm going to take a piece of Designer Series paper. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some liquid glue. And I could measure and, you know, get all fancy and stuff like that, but I'm just going to put some glue on here. I'm going to line up my paper with this creased edge. Okay. Go right up to where it folds. I'm going to line up this bottom edge with the envelope, making sure it's straight. I went a little crazy with the glue. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it over. You could also use tear and tape if you want to, regular adhesive if you want to, and I'm just going to trim it. Growing up, I was never one of those people that liked to measure anything. I hated when we had to measure in school. I just was not good at it. Believe it or not, now that I am a crafter, I have gotten much better at measuring. I'm not going to say I am fabulous at it because I am not, but I've gotten much, much better. I'm really good with like quarters and halves. I'm even pretty good now with eighths, but once we get to the 16ths, talk about measuring twice, cutting once. Okay, so there you have your piece. We're going to do the same thing on this side. This time I'm going to do a little less glue. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now, if you're using paper that has direction to it, you want to make sure it's going in the right direction. This paper does not. And what I mean by that is like if there's pictures on it that need to go like correct way up and down or vertical or horizontal. I got a little glue on here. This is a glue eraser. I love this thing. Stampin' Up! Used to sell these. Now I've only seen them in the dollar store. I'm sure they're in Michael's and Joann's and other craft stores, but I have seen them in the dollar store. If your dollar store has like a crafting section, go to the dollar store and get these. These are great because it gets rid of the glue. They're really, really great. I love them. Okay. And I'm going to cut again, making sure that I don't cut my envelope open. And then just trim the top here. Okay, I'm just going to clean this up. All right, so we got two sides of our envelope done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold it. So we just have this piece. We're going to do the same thing here, and I'm going to do this part as well. I am going to do it separately so it's easier to fold. You can do it all in one piece. I just find it is a little bit easier if you do it separately. Okay, this one we're going to, and again, like I said, if you want to measure this and cut it out, you're going to use the whole piece of 12 by 12 DSP, or at least most of it anyway. So I don't mind doing it this way. But if you're really, if you like to measure and you want to take the time, that would be, another option as well. And it's probably save a little bit more paper than what I'm doing here. All right, that is not straight, but let's get... Again, I'm going to cut that top, put this down, and we'll go back and clean it up, because again, I don't want to cut the envelope. Okay, all right, so let's go back and clean that top piece up. And you can actually, like I said, take your time here. And let's clean up this side. Now, obviously, you're not, if you were to want to mail something like this, you would have to put it in another envelope of some sort. And it may, I'm not sure how much postage would be, just because it is, as you're adding more DSP, it is going to get a little heavier. All right, last piece. I'm going to just do a little bit of glue here. I don't know where I saw this, so I can't give credit where credit was due. This is not my idea. I did not come up with this. I probably saw it on a YouTube video a long time ago. It was in my stash of old ideas. And when I started going to the, when I bought my Pennsylvania house, I started going through stuff so I could bring half stuff here and half stuff on Long Island, and I went through it, and the other day I came across this, and I'm like, oh my god, this is such a cute idea. I had totally forgotten about it, so I was like, all right, let's try to recreate it, and that's what I'm doing. Okay, so there you have it. You have your envelope all ready to go. Okay. All right, so now we're going to decorate this part of the envelope. Now, what I'm going to do here is, as you can see, I left this plain, okay, and I added some embellishments and stuff because we're just going to put a small piece in here. So this piece I am going to kind of measure, and as you can see, it's going to be about 3 3/4. Okay. So let me grab my paper trimmer. And this part is already 3 3/4, so I'm going to use this as my, okay, cut that, get that off, make life easier. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it, let's see how I'm going to do it. I did that about 3 inches high. So let's put it on 3, cut it. We're going to have to trim up that other end. Okay, so this piece is going to go in here like this. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some white paper. And I'm going to decorate the inside. Now, this is where your scraps can come in. I keep my scraps in a plastic bag just to keep them organized. I've seen some people use file folders. I've seen all kinds of other things. All right, so I'm going to put a little adhesive on here. Just using my Tombow. If you have Stamp and Seal, Where is mine? Okay, you could use that. You could use tear and tape if you wanted to. You could use liquid glue if you wanted to. I'm just going to use some of the adhesive. I'm going to put that right in the center there. Okay. And then let's get to stamping, because it wouldn't be a Stampin' Up! Project if it wasn't stamped on. Now you see I'm erasing the glue that I got on my, and it comes right off. I love this thing. It's so, I think it's just called a glue eraser. I forget what the technical name is for it, but I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay. So I'm going to pull, a lot of this, the material from Stampin' Up! Is retired that I'm using. I like to make sure I use my retired stamp sets as well, because a lot of you have these stamp sets, and it's always fun to pull out things that are in your archives, right? All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab I'm going to grab Celebrate Your Day. Okay, I'm going to grab that. These are photopolymer stamps, so you can see right through them. And then I'm going to grab an acrylic block. These are my Cricut acrylic blocks. My Stampin' Up! Blocks are at the other house. So, all right, so I'm going to put that on my block. It says Celebrate Your Day. And then I think we're going to grab some of this confetti. Let's see, my stamps are a little dyed by using some of the darker inks. If you take your, I'm not going to remember the name of the stamp now. I mean the ink. If you stamp if you take your ink, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. There's a type of ink, Versamark, sorry. Oh, it's getting late. You take your Versamark and you ink this up and then clean it. It'll help keep the stamps from doing this. Okay. I don't always listen to my own advice, but they still work. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull some of our stamping pads, and I really think that I want a lighter. I want something that coordinates with it, and like I said, you can use whatever you want. I think this is what I wanted. Nope. There we go. I knew I'd find it. Okay. I pulled out so many stamp pads. I'm like, oh, which one is it? All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little confetti, and I am going to, and if you notice, I just turned the paper over. It's probably hard to pick up on camera, but when you cut it, there's like a little ridge there. I always use that as the back, just so it's a cleaner edge in the front. Okay. I'm going to ink this up. And I'm just gonna kind of give it a little bit of fun. Okay. And then, because I'm gonna cut this down. And then there in the center, and I think I'm going to use my black ink pad for this. Now these are the old Stampin' Up! Pads. My new ones obviously are not here. But I did save my old ones, or a lot of my old ones, so I have them with me. So still the same colors. All right, so I'm going to stamp that there. Celebrate Your Day. Let's see, can I'm gonna try to zoom in for you a little bit. Okay, so Celebrate Your Day. And then I'm also going to pull, I think I'm I'm gonna pull a yellow in. And I'm going to, there's a little flower in here. The stamp set I'm using is called Hello Cupcake. This is a retired stamp set. This was a celebration stamp set a few celebrations ago. Okay, so I'm going to pull that in. Grab my little ink. Sorry about my head in the camera. Okay, let's ink that baby up. And I'm just going to put little, kind of fill in those holes. Again, we're going to cut this down. Okay. All right, so I had made this. This was 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut this down to 3 1/2. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off each side. Okay, and then I'm going to cut some of this top off. Cut a little bit more of that top off. Okay. I'm going to cut a little bit more off each side. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to glue that on with adhesive. Okay, I'm also going to add some more of the flowers on the top now that I know where I'm cutting it off. Okay. And don't be afraid to stamp off the paper. Kind of gives it a little bit of a more finished look. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take my adhesive. And I am going to put that right there. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do for my inside of my card, I made the outside border 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay, so we're going to take our designer series paper, that'll work, and we're going to cut it 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, which it already is. Fabulous. Okay, and then I'm going to take a white piece of cardstock, again going back to my straps, and I'm going to make that 1/4 inch all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to do this, let's say 4. Oh, this is already 4. Perfect. And I'm going to do this 3. Oh, it's almost 3. Look at that. Okay, I cut a little bit off. So that should work perfectly. No, that's not straight. Let's make that straight. Three. Is that better? There we go. Perfect. Okay. Get rid of this. Okay. All right. So now we are going to stamp this. We're just going to stamp this with a happy birthday. Oh, you know what? Let's do celebrate. Always using happy birthday. So this stamp set that I'm using is also an old stamp set. This was Create with Friends, and it has some great sayings on it. That's the one thing I love about Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up has everything coordinates. Their paper, their cardstock. Some of their stamp sets and their dies are just perfect for creating with the cards. You know, the DSP, they sell bundles, which is great. So if you buy a bundle, it's usually 10% off. All right, I'm going to stamp Celebrate right in the center there. And I'm going to leave the rest of this white so you could write on it. You know, you could write to so-and-so, you know, happy birthday, love so-and-so. Okay. And, okay. Put a little adhesive on it. And we're going to center that right in there. Okay, so that goes in there like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to make our gift card holder. Okay, now this is going to fold up like this, and we're going to wind up covering this with our gift card holder, which that was supposed to go on the front, but that's okay. We'll redo it. All right. Well, see, everybody makes mistakes. All right, so let me cut this, make this our gift card holder. This, what you're going to do is you're going to use the same measurements that I did here. So this piece would have gone on the front. I would have left this plain, but that's okay. We'll do it again, okay? So we said this was going to be 3 3/4 by 3. So I'm going to cut it 3 3/4 by 3. So I'm actually going to cut it bigger because I want to score it. So I'm going to cut this 4 1/4. I've been on vacation too long. I need to go back to work. My brain is just not functioning. And that was 3, so let me make that 3 1/2 just to be on the safe side. We had Thursday, Friday, and we have Monday off. So, needless to say, I have been not using my brain. Okay, so we're going to use the Simply Scoring tool. And I am going to move this down a little bit so you can see. I'm going to do 1/4 on 3 sides. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to fold these in. And then I'm going to grab my bone folder. Okay. Now you can see it's very, very little, but you don't need a lot to make a little envelope for the gift card, okay? And I made it nice and big, because some gift cards are bigger now. Did you notice that? You know, like some of the not that I drink Starbucks, but some of the Starbucks ones are huge. I know my nephew's Minecraft ones sometimes can be big. Okay. All right, so you have that, and I scored it on the bottom, and I scored each side. Then I'm going to take my tear and tape, and I have very thin tear and tape here. So I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape on the bottom. And the reason they call it tear and tape is because I can just tear it. Love it. Okay, we're going to put a piece on one side. And then we're going to flip it around to here. Okay, if you're just joining us and you're like, what in the world is she making? I am making gift card holders that actually come with a card. So here's one example. Turn it over. There's adhesive here that the person can open it up. And then you would put a gift card or money in here. And then you have your card in here. So that's what I'm making, if you're wondering what in the world is this girl doing. Okay, so I'm going to take off my adhesive. Okay, I'm gonna bring my card back in. And now again, I'm covering this, which, you know what? Where's my, I always modify it, right? Let's see if I could cut it down so I could still see the saying instead of destroying all that work, right? All right, so I'm going to tuck this in, and I'm going to go like just like this. Yeah, it's still going to cover it. Oh well, it's the thought that counts, right? And then your gift card is going to go in here. Okay, you're going to take your bone folder and slide it in there just to get it really down well. But there you see, you've made this pocket where now you can put your gift card, okay? And then you can do the same thing. You could take a strip here, and we can cut that down. Okay. Okay, this was 1 3/4, so I'll make that one. And we made this 3 1/4. So I'll make this 3 1/4 so they're equal on both sides. You can take that and you're going to put these here to decorate these sides. Okay, so I'm going to take my adhesive. And again, you can get as crazy or, you know, when I first started doing this, I was like, oh, I got to decorate all sides. But you really don't. I mean, you could write messages there if you wanted to instead of covering it. You don't have to get as, you know, you don't have to decorate it as much as I did, okay? All right, so now let's go back to the front. This is where I was supposed to do the other spot. I decorated the back. All right, so I'm going to take, oh, look at that, that piece works. And I don't need a background piece because I already have it. So what we're gonna do is, again, we'll do Celebrate on here. Take my stamp. Now the photopolymer stamp sets sometimes need a little bit of extra cushioning to come out, so you could always put something underneath it. Or just make sure you give it a really good press, okay? Then I'm actually going to take my flowers. I'm going to kind of decorate the top and the bottom. Okay. I'm going to put that there like that. Give it a little bit of adhesive. And there you have your envelope. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is make sure we got all pieces. Actually, you know what, let me, oh wait, no, that's the, see right away I want to add, and I need to stop because that's where the card's going to be and somebody needs to write there. Okay, so you have your card. You have your gift card pocket, okay? So when you give the gift, we're going to make the little piece that goes here now, but when you give your gift and you put everything in, you would take this sticky strip off, the envelope seal, or lick the envelope. This just happens to have a paper backing for the adhesive. And you would close this down, and that's what would keep it closed, plus the little strip that we're going to make right now, okay? All right, so the last thing that we're going to do for this card is we're going to take a strip of paper. I'm going to use white. Hit my light. All right, I'm making this 1 3/4. And I'm going to make this 3 inches horizontally, okay? Let me get rid of this. Bring this back in. Now, So this is going to help keep this closed as well, but you don't want to put adhesive on this side. When we put adhesive on, you're only going to put it on one side just so the person can open it. Okay, so let's put that up there. Let's do Celebrate Your Day again. And again, like I said, a lot of the colors, everything that I'm using today is actually retired material, except for the black ink. Okay, and then I'm going to take that flower, and I'm going to give it a flower on each end. Okay. And then if you really want to get fancy, you can take some rhinestones. I have some Stampin' Up! Rhinestones here. These come in 3 different sizes. I'm going to use the little ones. Okay, and I'm going to put a rhinestone on each of the little flowers. Use that as the center of the flower. Okay. All right, then I'm going to turn it over now. I only want adhesive on the one side, okay? So I'm going to put my adhesive on here. I'm going to use the sticky strip or the tear and tape. And I'm only going to put 2 pieces on here. And I'm not even going to go, I'm just shy of center. So I don't know if you can see that. Wait, where's the camera? So here, I'm just shy of center. I kept everything to that right side. Okay, I'm going to take my tear and tape off. Okay, I'm just going to tuck these little ends. I went a little too far over. All right, I'm going to close this up. I'm going to center that, press down. So when this is sealed, this will help keep the bottom closed because you don't want to, obviously seal the bottom. So when they open it up, they'll see their gift card and then they'll have their actual card. And I'm going to do the same thing here with the, with the rhinestones. This is a great way to use scraps too. This could be a great way to give a retirement card. We're coming up on retirements soon, right? School's going to be coming to a close very soon. Great way to do graduations, like I said, birthdays, a cute little housewarming gift. If you're going to somebody's house for Easter, you could do that. And I didn't go like as crazy with this one as I did these others. So like I said, you can go as simple or as, I don't want to say advanced. What am I looking for? Or as elaborate as you want. And those are the 3 cards. And I think they're all just as cute. So if you have any questions, please let me know. The new annual catalog is coming out soon in May. So if you are interested in any of the products that Stampin' Up! Has to offer, please let me know that as well. If you'd like to join my team, I would love to have you. Stampin' Up! Is actually going through some really exciting changes. So we're looking forward to all of those. And it would be a great time to get on board with Stampin' Up! And I hope everybody has a blessed Easter if you celebrate Easter. and I look forward to seeing you again. If you like this video, please make sure you like and share. And I'll post this over on my YouTube channel as well, Michelle's Stamp and Craft Corner. Please go over and like and share that as well. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.